The first tells him where the first guy is in the list, and the last tells him where the last guy is. So this question is asking, if you built a new list node, how would you attach this guy to the back of the list? How would you attach this list node to the back of the list? Well, who knows where the last guy is? This guy does, last PTR. So I would say, I'll tell last PTR, right? So wait, first of all, which one do you think could do it? Attaching this new guy, you just built this guy. You want this guy to be attached to the end of the list. This list currently has in 4 nodes. I want to get this guy to become the new last guy. He is the current last guy. Who knows where this guy is? Last PTR. Who knows where the first guy is? First PTR. With this knowledge, knowing who first PTR is, knowing who last PTR is, how do you get this guy attached to the end?
Sir, yeah, B option 1, sir.
Option 1. Let's see.
Is last
see.
PTR
Because when you build one of these, somebody needs to know where this guy is, right? So let's say he is referred to by new PTR, right? So I want to, and then his next is null because he just got built, right? So I need for this guy to be attached. This says take last next, which is this, and point it to whatever new is pointing to. Okay, so far so good. And then he says now last, stop pointing here, and I want last to now point to this guy.
Yes, so
That is correct. This is the correct.
Just update.
All right. For this one, I have to give everybody points for this because it is, I don't believe in being unfair. And this one, I didn't actually cover this
word
this way. If you got it correct, pat yourself on the shoulder. If you guessed it and got it correct, then no patting. All right. But otherwise, I'll just give everybody points for this one.
If we get it correct, sir.
Huh?
I think we should get some bonus points if we got it correct.
They'll be nice, but it could have been that you guessed it. All right.
I'm out to know the logic.
Oh, you need the logic? All right.
Logic, yeah.
How about the congratulations? Is that enough?
Extra points.
Extra points.
Overachiever.
Extra points, man. I'm so sorry. All right, guys. So I'm gonna give everybody this question as bonus because I don't believe in being fair. Okay, guys. So again, on Tuesday you're gonna have 2 quizzes.
14.
Sir, how much points bonus?
I'll add in number 14, I think.
Well, the last one is 16. Right?
Damn. Oh, never mind.
For non-emptied English.
We'll get that 16. Well, let me just put it this way. The last question, you'll just get it correct. If you got it correct, it stays correct. If you got it wrong, it's going to be correct, right? So, all right, going back to this. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now, do you understand what I was explaining in this code? Like, do you have a general idea of what's going on right now? Yes. So,
yes.
Pablo, what's going on? I guess with 2 quizzes. Yes, then. And the reason why I'm going to give 2 quizzes is because 2 is always better than 1. All right? 2 is always better than 1.
Sir, I only have 1 lunch break for the quiz. I don't know if it'll be after working hours or what.
It'll be during class time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So let me just quickly go through this, and then you guys can let me know if you have any questions. So I explained to you, right? There's a way for a class to tell the compiler that another class is its friend. How does it do that? The code for that is very simple. You just put friend and the word class and the name of the class. That's it. Friend, class, and the name of the class. That's all you have to do. All right? So let's pretend I had this class. I had a class called class new. Right?
Yes, mister.
Yes.
So we will always use friend as like a keyword or something. Like
yeah,
it's
the keyword is friend. Yeah. That's if you want to make another class your friends, right? But you should, like some programmers say that this is not good practice, blah 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 blah. But yes, in some situations, you definitely use friend. Like in this case, you'd have to use it, and that's a keyword friend. So let's pretend now we have this class called mule, and you want to tell the compiler that mule has a friend called cow. So you'd say friend. Word class. So this is reserved word, this is reserved word. The only thing that you get to choose is the name of the class that is your friend. And I do this. What you have just done is you've told the compiler, this guy has told the compiler, you see this guy? This guy is my friend. That means from within class cow, he can access anything within my class. That's what this is telling the compiler. Now what you have to understand is friendship is only one way, okay? Just because mule said that cow is its friend, it does not mean that automatically mule is cow's friend. You understand? It does not mean that mule has access to cow's members. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Friendship is one way. So now mule does not have access to cow's data members or anything cow. That's not public. That's not public. So I don't want you to think just because one class and another class is his friend that it works vice versa automatically. It's not like that. All right? It's just like the real world. All right? You are a person's friend. It does not necessarily mean that a person thinks of you as their friend. All right? Which makes for very awkward conversations and situations. All right. So having said that, that's how you make a class your friend. So that's what this line is. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is this part? Well, I told you the rule is the keyword friend, the word class, and name of the class. But since we're saying that, okay, the reason why this part is there and we don't have it here is because cow is a regular class. If cow was a template class, then I would have to have written cow, angle bracket, and something in there, right? I have to put something in there. So if it's a template class, you can't just say that this class is my friend and just put the name of the class. You have to put in angle brackets and using the keyword as well. All right. And then line 8 is telling the compiler about the existence of class list. Now, what the hell does that mean? You have to understand. You just told this guy just told the compiler that this dude is his friend. Now the compiler is going to go, where did you declare this class? That's what this, now he's going to wonder, right? He's thinking, okay, where's this class that you said is your friend? Normally, when we have another class, we say pound sign include, and we do this, right? Pound sign include list. H. And then the compiler knows, all right, this is the code for list. But we're not using this technique, right? We're forward declaring a class. This is called forward declaring a class. And the way you forward declare a class, you just put class call. This forward declares a class. What's the difference between forward declaring a class and doing this? The difference is this imports an actual file, cow.h, and he's going to attach that file to this code. You understand? Whenever you do an include, it literally means go fetch the code from this class or this file and stick it inside of this particular file. Now, sometimes this is not a good practice to do because it can make your programs bloated, right? And a way you can avoid making your class bloated is by doing this. This says, listen, compiler, there's this class called cow, right? And I'm going to refer to the word cow throughout my code. I know that I've not declared or given you the actual file that contains the definition of cow, but just know that this class exists. That's what this forward declaration is doing. It's just telling the compiler this class exists. But at some point in your code, you need to write pound sign include cow.h. You're just not doing it in this file, but at some point you have to. So any questions about this so far? And again, the reason why we didn't just put class list, like I said, to for declare a class, you just put the word class and you put the name of the class and it has been for declared. The reason why this is not enough is because this class list is just like list node. Both of them. You haven't seen class list yet because I have not shown you yet. I have not shown you. But I'm telling you right now, class list is just like list node. He's a template class. And since he's a template class, you can't just put class list. You have to say template, type name, node type, this. All right. If class co was a template class, then I would have to have written, I would write template type name. Type, okay. That's what I would have to have done. If call was a template class, you would have to put all of this in front of it before you did the class call. That's so that the compiler knows that your friend is not a regular class. Your friend happens to be a template class. If your friend happens to be a regular class, you don't have to put any of this stuff. Just forget this. Just put class call, boom, for declared. Same thing here. When you actually, this is the actual part that makes a class your friend. You can't just say class list, semicolon. You have to say class list of this type. Any questions? Does that make sense?
Sir, if it was a regular class, it would just be class and then this.
Right. So if list happened to be a regular class, I wouldn't have put any of this stuff. I just for declare just like that. Class list done. And then this, I'll take out all of this. And I just put class list semicolon done. Because it's a template class, I have to make the compiler know about that. So let me just quickly show you. This is class list. Remember, class list is acting like our coach. You only need one list object per linked list. Try to imagine it this way. You have a coach, one coach, but you can have many players, right? These are all the players. I just need one coach, but I can have many players. And the coach gives guidance to all of these people, right? Do this, do this. A linked list is the same thing. To build a linked list, you only need one list object. And he tells all of these guys who they should point to, and so forth. All right? That's all we need. One list object, this class is called list, and a bunch of list node objects. So that's what it is. So now, having said that, this is...
Don't put keep.
All right. So having said that, this is class list. Now look at the functions in class list. It allows you to insert the back, insert the front, remove from back, check to see if your list is empty, and print. Now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions before going into any detail because we're almost out of time. Looking at class list, try to answer all my questions right now as best as you can, all right? Look at it carefully, 10 seconds. Just quickly look at it, and I'm going to ask you questions. Okay. How many member functions does class list have? Member function.
6, 7, 8, 6.
Quanto. Member function. Member function.
6.
You give free them.
6.
6.
6.
6.
6.
6, 6, 6. There we go. Bastards. All right. 6, 6, 6. Would anybody would like to make a wager on that it's actually 6? Anybody?
Bonus points.
Bonus points. So what if you get it wrong? What should I do? I'll take away the 16 points from you. How about that? If you get it wrong, I take away the 16 points. How about that?
Yeah, that right there.
Yeah? How many people agree?
No.
Sir. Oh, crap.
No, sir, that the highest, what, the 16 points, sir?
Exactly. That's why. So if you're not confident, you can't make bets with me, all right? I'm willing to straight up give you points, but you have to make sure that your answer is correct. Otherwise, I'll knock off 16 points straight from that quiz we just did.
How about an A for the semester?
You get it right, you get an A.
Yeah.
And if you get it wrong, I just straight up give you an F, and that's it. Stop showing up to class. Done.
No,
Oh,
it's
Lee.
at least
Yo.
If you're not, you have to be strong enough, brave enough to make these bets with me. Otherwise, we're not gonna make these little baby bets. We have to make these bets.
Baby
All right.
bets.
All right.
Just
So
baby bets.
I just show that you guys are a bunch of wimps, but that's all right. That's all right. We've got a lot of those around here. So now, how many member functions? Ready? Well,
6 or 8.
one, Mouthy. This is one. Constructor. Constructor. That's
So
one.
it's
Constructor. That's
8.
another member function. They have special titles, but they're still member functions. That's 3, 4, 5,
I like it.
6, 7, 8. Who said 8? Ferdy said 8. A couple other people said 8. Definitely not 6. Definitely not 6. All right? And it's definitely not 8 either. ¿Por qué? So all of you would have failed. All of you would have failed. All right? It would have been
That's
wonderful.
why whenever I make the bet, sir.
And boom! This is número 9. All right? Número 9. Is that not a function?
Yes.
What happened? You didn't see it?
Yeah.
Oh, Derek is telling me right now. Yes, Derek. After I said what happened. Thank you for that.
My mic wasn't working, but I was saying 9.
Oh, your mic is working now, though. Your mic is working now, though.
Yeah, because I was wondering why I didn't respond.
Man, same to try said 9 long times, sir.
Okay, so this is a function. You probably did not see it because your mind thought, wait a minute, in programming 1 and programming 2, all functions are to the public. I should not even look down here. Your mind probably thought this is a data member. Weird looking data member, but it's a data member. This is a member function. It's private. It's private. That means that you have a total of 9 member functions. But why would I make a function private? Because this is now referred to as a helper function or a utility function. And it's helper because the outside world can never call this function directly. Nobody knows about this function. The outside world only knows about these. So who would be calling helper function? These guys. These guys would then call this guy internally. That's why he's called a helper function. He's private because the outside world does not know about him, hence they can't call him. But these guys would call him to do work. All right? And then in terms of data members, I only have 2 data members, first PTR and last PTR. And first PTR is a pointer. Listen carefully to what this is. First PTR is a pointer to a list node of type node type. Erase that. You understand what first point? So now, let's just quickly, before this ends, right? I want us to imagine what this object will look like. We know what a list node object looks like. A list node object has 2 parts, right? Data and a next, right? This is a list node object, which we just looked at in the previous slide. You with me so far? Remember, whenever I ask you what is inside of an object, you should always think about data members, not functions. So now if I ask you, what would you draw if I ask you to draw a list object? Not a list node, this is what a list node object looks like. If I ask you to draw a list object, what would it look like? This is a list object. What would I find inside?
Data members.
How many?
2.
Why 2?
Because there's 2.
There are 2. So there are 2. If there are 5, you'd see 5. If there are 10, you'd see 10. You with me so far? There are 2. So I'm gonna name it first PTR and last PTR. And look carefully. What is first PTR? What is last PTR? I know they're pointers. Yes, I know they're pointers. But this is the important part. What type of pointer are they? What can these guys point to?
Anything that node type specifies.
So be more precise. Yes, but what? Let's say no type is int.
List node type.
This guy can point to another list. guy point to another list object? That's the
Who?
first question. Can this guy point to another list object? Yes or no?
Think so.
Important question. You need to understand what I'm asking you. Can this pointer point to a list object? No. He says I can only point to list node objects like this dude. Like this dude. So this is illegal. But he can point to one of these guys. He can point to one of these guys. And so can he. Alright? Last PTR can point to one of these guys as well. Remember, for every linked list you build, I only need one of these guys. I only need one list object. And the purpose is, you will keep track of who the first guy is, who the last guy is. I just need, all he needs to know is who the first guy is and who the last guy is. Once I know who the first guy is, I can add in front of this guy. And if I want to add to the end of the list, I can add to the end of the list. That's all I need to know.
Sir.
Okay, the time is up. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I might put out another video if I have time. I'm just swamped, but I'll try to put up another video. In the meantime, just review this code. You're going to get a quiz on Tuesday, maybe 2 quizzes.
Quiz about what, sir?
You'll be on my videos, like maybe heaps, stacks, just show
Oh,
me
you
the
know,
things.
okay, any other videos in here? Okay.
Yeah.
Multiple choice, or?
Yeah, probably multiple choice. So I can quickly get grids. Alright guys, see you guys. Take care, enjoy your weekend.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
All right, sir.
Alright, take care.